We go to a very in-depth understanding of the cups. I draw it in the way that has to be done, and in a way that try to explain a lot of things with it. What will be interesting is how you follow. We started with cup of life, with nano-coated and non-nano-coated copper and a zinc plate. Then we added the cup number 2, again with copper, nano-coated and non-nano-coated. In the teaching, we taught you the cup of soul with copper, all nano-coated. Sorry, with the zinc. Then we showed you the cup of copper, nano-coated, non-coated flat. Let's do a small correction. That you all know exactly where we are. But these are all nano-coated. Copper, zinc, and this one is not nano-coated. Here, everything is nano-coated. What we always said is that we connect the 2 outside and the 3rd one inside in connection and conjunction with a wire. We connected the same way, the 2 outside, to 1 inside with the same system. We did the same thing with this one. We connected the 2 outside and the 1 inside with the same connection. And we did the same thing with the same 2 outside and 1 inside with a connection. If you look, as human body is a combination of the copper, structure, physicality, and the GANS waters which you used and created, In this process, we have connected all the nano-coated together. And so many ways, we have to put it this way. Now you see a structure which has a different meaning. You see, if you stuck it, number 1 is the soul of the man, which is on the top. Then you have the soul of physicality, which is number 2. Then you have the physicality of the man, which is number 3. Then you have the soul of the inertia of the planet, which is copper-based. This life is isolated. To be complete, to be the soul of the man within the structure of the planet, there is a need for the 4th cup, the 5th cup, which this 5th cup has a specific characteristics. The magnetic gravitational field of this planet is based on iron. So you need an iron. You have the copper and you have the zinc. All have to be nano-coated. Now you bring the structure of the soul of this planet, the way it interacts with life of the man, which with it brings the creation of the soul and emotion of the man. So your picture, in a way, let's change this slightly to a different color, that we keep our process the same. You have the ingredient up, which with it brings the soul of planet. Now, what you collect and what you might add as different salts, materials, will dictate in what you will receive is near enough to the replication of your life, what you need, as these have to be stacked up exactly as it is. Don't forget, we do not change. These have to be, I do apologize, there is a slight correction in these, because I know you lot look for everything. You have the copper, you have the iron, and you have the zinc. Notice how all the plates are positioned like the backbone of the human being, the spine. Or you look at the emotional side, which comes through the same structure. And one of the most important parts you will notice is that Your materials now produced will be totally different than when you had a cup of man, or you had a cup of life, or you had other cups. You will not produce the same ganses. Your ganses color will change. You will see new colors, because now you have set up in that direction the work which is need to be done according to what the love of man is for the love of his creator. This way you shine down, and this way you rise from the horizon of the man. And in this process you have brought in the gravity. In this process you have brought inertia. In this process you brought the physicality of the man. In this process you brought what we call the soul of the man. And in this soul of physicality of the man, I should say, and in this you brought the soul of the man. This system is the replication of totality of the life of the man. What you saw we shared before, the cup sits here. The cup sits here. The cup sits here. Because it's the inertia of the copper which gives physicality to the man. Now you have cup of life with the soul of the cup per cell. You have the cup of life here with the physicality of the man. You have created the soul of the man's cup. You have created the inertia, and you have created the gravitational magnetic field of the planet according to the three essential elements of the life in the physical dimension. Where the zinc makes your lung and your brain, iron makes your blood, and copper makes your physical dimension of muscles. In a way, and in the process of how you choose your, what I call salt water, will dictate the emotion and the dimension of the physicality. If you take ganses from any of these cups, one drop of it, if you have done it the correct way, will feed you for one day. If your intention and soul is to support illness with the cup of 1 and cup of 5, you will elevate the soul of the man, because you eliminate the inertia and physical condition. You use the physical free fields of the planet to create that condition of elevation for the soul. You have a physical condition which is psychosomatic. You use cup number 2 and cup number 3 ganses. You have problem with the structure, what we call conversion or evolution. You use 4 and 5, and depends which evolution has taken place, use cup number 2 or 3. This is to get rid of the inherited diseases. But you have to understand, every part of this has to be understood, because there is millions of combinations to this. And there is one thing, and the most important thing is that you're the man, you're the creator of it. In the process of creation, you have established every dimension. Maybe now we have solved the mystery of creation. In the future teachings, we will elaborate on those below and those above. I think this teaching today brings man to be able now to use the true condition of Ganses for elevation of the soul. If you understand. There are some, I know a lot of you are gonna ask a lot of things about the connections and corrections. Maybe we do this way that you are happy with your works. Just do very clean-cut job that you all understand. Use this knowledge to overcome hunger, disease. Use this knowledge to elevate your soul. Use this knowledge to be able to work through the soul. That in a way, if you look at it, it's very simple. With this, you cover the totality of the man. With this, if you understand, can overcome Corona or any other virus or any other disease in space, where by creating the right condition for the soul, you support the whole of your understanding, the whole of the structure, the whole of physicality. The teaching is not complete. It's far from complete. The teaching has just begun. The teaching has just structured itself to the new understanding of the soul of the universe. We just graduated. Maybe if you understand the totality of it, from the nursery of the knowledge of the universe. Maybe if you understand the totality of it, maybe man can enter the first class. Then you can see there's a long way to get to the 12 and the PhDs. Even this, to get to this level, with all the help brought, it's taken millions of years for man to educate and elevate. Maybe we have entered a new dimension in the essence of the knowledge of mankind. Maybe in the future, the human race will find a solution, will find a way out for itself, for the citizens of this planet, and a way to become part of the universal community. In that process, mankind has to do two things. And that is to transfer knowledge unconditionally, to transfer knowledge without any hesitation. How many of you have put your life at risk to take answers to another man who's sick, to another woman with a child who cannot move from the house because they're coronavirus, and you've seen them days later on the street living a normal life? That's the gift that you have brought. As one of the knowledge seekers said in one of the recent teaching, what have we done? There's nothing. Nothing has been done. A lot has been done. You have taught the knowledge, and those who understood it have increased it and developed it to help the others. The knowledge seekers have become the cornerstones of the knowledge. New knowledge, understanding of the new, which even the governments and scientists cannot understand. But it works. It works immensely. When we watch the rulers of nations cover themselves in gases to escape deaths, and they receive and they see the result. When we see people who are in position of power come and ask for application of the new technology for Corona. You have tested cup number 2 and 3. We told you for a long time, don't touch cup number man, which is a combination of 2 and 3. Now you can go to the cups and decide in which part and which essence you want to take, and try to feed yourself and see how you can stand the onslaught of hunger. Do not drink in gallons, try with drops. But don't forget, there are many combinations to this. Before the break, I asked John, specifically for this reason. When we lost everything now. We lost everything.
Okay. I think Stanley was sharing there, so perhaps when you reshare, it'll have we see a new screen there now.
It's okay. Somehow I don't get my usual thing. No, we don't see it. It's okay, no problem. It's there. You have it on the records. But let's look at what was taught last week. We came to the cup of the soul of the man. And now we know we have put a cup and we collect nothing but transparency. Look what John was telling us. This is the physicality of the man in zinc. This is the dimension of matter physicality of the man with the planet in the strength of the zinc. This is the interaction of the emotion field of the zinc. What do you get? Don't forget, these are all nano-coated. 126 to 135, 140, below and above. Iodine we covered. But there is an addition to this, is the totality of this, which is that 63 plus 63 plus 63. Or even you go with 65. $189, $195, and above. Depending on the isotopes of nano-coated on the zinc plate, you get the emotion. In totality, you get and reach near enough to, and in a combination of order of magnitude, to the strength of the soul of the man. Where you have covered the physical essence of emotion of the cell, you have covered the physical emotion of the totality, interaction of the field of the soul of the man of physicality. And in a way, you have covered the totality of the field of emotion with a soul, which means in the field interaction of these with the soul of the man, you find what the soul shares with the body of the man. Somewhere between this area. That's the male part of the right. As a mother. In the essence of the creation, in the totality of the dimension, on don't forget, when you want to travel the span of the universe through the soul, the universal soul, the strength of the universal soul comes into your position yourself with respect to the cost. In the future, even you can measure to understand where, in what position your soul will take place in the universe. Do not forget, the body of man is not made only from these 2 or 3 or whatever. There are more, and that combination will change these slightly too. You have others, as John said, radiation, radioactive materials. We have not taught the radiation at the level of the plasma yet. In essence, the system to be developed by you will bring a lot of joy to many of you. Will stop the control of man by those who set up to destroy man, those who thought they can control humanity, now that they have controlled the brain. Now, are there any questions? Don't forget, you always find the emotion, not the soul. Because the collective interaction of the emotions makes the soul.
Well, Mr. Keshe, we have a number of questions here, but I'm not sure if some of them are directly related to what you just taught here. I think you want questions to be on the on what you just taught, at least to begin with. So let's try to take some. Does anybody have a live question here first? I see we have some attendees with their hands up. So we have Alvaro and Gatwa. And I'm not sure if John still wants to talk or if he has had his hand up from before. But perhaps Alvaro could go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Keshe. Hi, Rick. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe. This is a most beautiful setup. I just want to know, Mr. Keshe, if the cups must be in a vertical or in a horizontal position, please. Thank you very much.
Can you repeat that? What do you mean by horizontal?
The setup of the cups must be one on the top of the other, or one on the side of the other.
The reality is that we take the man in a vertical position, because if you put it horizontally, you have to put a cup of earth, the soul of the earth, under each cup. And then you have to put the inertia under each cup.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe.
You're welcome. Dr.
Very
Asadi
beautiful.
tried this. You're welcome. Dr. Asadi tried horizontal, and as he's a highly religious man, he pointed his system as his bed towards Mecca, that the fields of the beloved Muhammad interacts with his fields. You have to ask him, how does it feel when you go vertical or horizontal?
Yes, your line's breaking up a little bit there, Mr. Keshe, but we could hear from Gatwa now.
Good morning, Mr. Keshe.
Good morning, Dr. Gato.
Yeah, I'm wondering about, first of all, thank you very much for your enlightening teachings, especially this one. I have a question on the picture that you have here. When we make CO2 guns, we look at interaction between nano-coated copper, which is 59, and zinc, which is 65 to get 6, which is half CO2, half carbon. I mean half, which is the minimum you can use to pull carbon from the environment. So could you explain in details how the interaction of 3 nano-coated zinc plates gets to 126? Between 126 and 136.
63 or 65. We are not going to 70, 75. It's a random. And how the number of coils you create. Can you close your microphone? Somebody else, please. How you connect the zinc plates, how many turns you add to it, what salinity you use, what's the position distance, all decides the outcome of what you collect here as energy of the soul. Everything now counts. Everything and everything counts. Any other question?
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe. I'll have to listen later because I am not sure that I understood everything you said.
It'll take
Thank you very
mankind
much.
thousands of years to understand fully what is here.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. In the future, mankind will computerize these things. In a way, as we said, the new computers, which are three-dimensional systems, will come into operation that can carry this kind of information. The information and emotion transfer needs new technology. The same, if you are the captain and carry such an emotion, how instantly can you make decisions at the speeds beyond several tens of thousands of orders by order of magnitude of the speed of the light? Simply to run this single cup, the present computers do not have the capacity. If you understood the picture before, excuse me, Stanley or Rick, do you have the picture of the 5 cups? If you can replace it with this one, please.
Yes.
Or put the 2 pictures next to each other if you can. If you understood the connection and operation of variety and combination of things you can put in this cup alone will take mankind all computer capacities on this planet, even your calculators and everything else. You will not reach the answer for hundreds of years. But we see it operates within the body of the man on a daily basis. Because each combination, each structure is the existence of one cell. The color of it, the shape of it, the position of it, the emotion of it.
John Bliven has another question, Mr. Keshe.
Yes.
Hello, Mr. Keshe. So, going back to cup 5, it was nano-coated zinc, nano-coated copper, and then another nano-coated copper, or chicken wire nano-coated?
Oh, no, 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 no. Copper and zinc and iron. Iron sits in the center because on the gravitational magnetic field of this planet, iron is the magnetic field dominator. But the beauty of it, if you haven't understood, in the last cup is, how can I write? I can write on this here. If you notice in the last cup, here, you have a combination of the matter state and you have the combination of the liquid state and you have the combination of gaseous state. All three together is the closest replication to structure of the soul of the planet.
Would nano-coated chicken wire work?
No, you already have a zinc with the chicken copper on the other side. You already have a zinc plate in there.
Okay, one more quick question. When you talk about the drops, are you putting a drop of the material on your tongue?
Yes, you can do, or we can prepare you to do the gans of it, the water of it. But you have to understand what you're mixing. It's not going to be tick, tick, now we got a cup, we got a feed. It will touch your emotion. It will affect your emotion in respect to many things in a positive way. Some of you will get high on it because it's so much. You get enlightened to a new dimension of the knowledge and technology, which is within the bandwidth of the man's sort of understanding. And it walks you in talking the truth. In a way, putting yourself in a lot of problems. But this time, good problems, solving a lot of things. Man with this will enlighten to a new knowledge and technology. For those who understand the totality. As I said, now you understand what I said just in the other part. That many of you will claim you're everything which you are not, and just because you received a little bit of knowledge.
Last week you talked about the cup of the soul using 20 to 40% in a mixture. Are you now mixing some of these together?
Of course. Why do you think I'm teaching you this way, John?
You got a percentage of what the mixture should be? If the first one is 20.
Would you like me to come and feed you with it as well?
I want full recipe.
The beauty of the man is his curiosity and adventureness to understand new and develop new. Any other question? In the coming teachings, I'll teach you how to use the soul to create flight. I'll teach you how to use the soul to create combination of freedom of the soul of the man from dimension of physicality and return back to physicality. This is part of the teaching which will come with the new life. To be able to live in both dimensions, but be aware of both, not hidden from the other as you go to sleep and you travel with the soul. And when you're in physicality, you don't see the soul. When you're in the soul, you don't see the physicality. The new process is to bring everything into order. This is not just for the humanity. We are teaching the universe. The soul of the knowledge is shared, not the word of the knowledge.
Good day, Mr. Keshe.
Good day, Jalal.
Mr. Keshe, I want to point out one thing that was very beautifully cleared by you, and I think it is the point key for the knowledge seekers. It was before the break. John asked you about the iodine as using in the meta state. You said it is you are using in the emotion level, and you can go to the soul level. And what you explained just now in the second picture, in the cup of the soul, how to interact in the soul level because you are working with the fields. And my question in that time was, which one give you?
We are giving you a drum call. Nearly there. Nearly there. Carry on.
My question was in that time, which one, which interaction give you 62 and which interaction give you 68? And I think you just clear it in this just now in the teaching.
This is a combination. This is what I said. If the knowledge seekers understand the technology, numbers and things does not play. It's the essence you have to understand.
I think this teaching is a gift.
For those who understand, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
You're welcome. The process of, as you see in both pictures, comes with the new book in details. In a way, if you understand this part, should answer you what we did develop and explain in book number 8. Where did the magnetic fields come from?
Mr. Keshe, one question, please, quick. Is Mr. Keshe there?
Yes, I'm always there.
Um,
Call my name, think of my soul, I'll be there.
when we use the waters, it should be clean from the salt all the time.
There is a very big question. How are you going to clean the cup number 1? In the coming teachings, we'll teach you, now that we have to the stage and you people play a little bit, is to show you how to transfer your soul. It's needed, because those of you who take to the depth of the universe need assurance that the soul arrives at the point of destination. So you be able to make a copy of your soul that when he arrives, you can understand both dimensions. And that will be the breakthrough. That will be where, for example, you sit in London and uncle have a party in New York. You can be there at the same time to enjoy both. Replication of the soul of the man will be the cornerstones of the travels of the future. You know, when you go to ultrasound testing, when the child is in the womb of the mother, we put the system on it with ultrasound and some gel, and we see the heartbeat and the leg and the arm of the baby. Now, within a structured understanding, you should be able to see your soul. See how little it is or how big it is, doesn't matter what it sits on the pressure of the fields of his universe, or what we call his brain. Any other question?
We've got quite a half dozen. We have about 6 people with hands up here, and we've got something like almost 40 questions in the Q&A. But let's keep it with the live people for now, I think. So Azar is the next person.
Good morning, Mr. Keshe. Mr. Keshe, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, Azar.
I have a few questions. I'm a little bit confused here.
This
with
is
the-
very easy to confuse you, Azar. There's no problem.
Okay, so with the, I just
One
want to,
question.
I just wanted to clarify two things, if you don't mind. On the, if you look at the second and third cup, you connected the, you only connected the nano-coded one to the main connection, not the other two.
No, because they're dimension of physicality. They're a matter state.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be connected. The other question I have, on the cup number 5, we have zinc, we have iron, we have copper, and all of them are nano-coated or just the copper?
Nano-coated.
And the iron is a pure iron?
Nano-coated. Doesn't matter. Your soul will decide.
Because
It's
I have
all
pure,
nano-coated.
I have pure iron and also have galvanized iron. I can use.
You never use galvanized.
Just iron.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Dean. You could go ahead, Dean.
Good afternoon, Mr. Keshe. Thank you for taking this question, Rick. Mr. Keshe, to receive the energy of the intention, do you have to take directly from the cup?
What do you mean? You got to understand something. I think this is, maybe you have not looked at it yet, is that, how can I show this one? Let's choose this. The system has a overall energy value, cup value, the structure value, combination of different things.
From the soul cup, Mr. Keshe. So you're saying the energy is there and but non-dimensional, not in matter state. So
I don't say you can make it and see it. I showed you the cup. The Iranian team have done it for the proof of it.
Is it thought and intention?
Maybe. You have the totality now. And if I tell you what you can do with it, I would prefer to let you lot play with little of it. Play with the combinations.
I look forward to it, Mr. Keshe. Thank you very much for taking my question.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dean. We have Gatwa back at bat here.
Yep.
This is Gatu again, Mr. Keshe. The question is, all the 5 cups, is there a recommended distance between them? That's the first question. And the second question is?
What's the distance between your neck, your heart, and your brain? Where the soul is?
I have a second question, Mr. Keshe.
Yeah.
I happen to have made the cup of soul, but I did have some guns, not a lot, but I saw some guns, which means there was some error. So I'm thinking, how about to make?
You see, you wait. We're gonna wait.
Okay, okay.
You have to make the structure as it is, not the single cups.
Oh, that was the second question.
Yeah.
Would you like to leave your soul?
Would you like to leave your head in New York and your body in God knows London?
So you have to be prepared to make all the 5 cups all at once in one day and connect them.
I don't know. You can do whatever you like, but This is the structure. Do you want to keep your body outside and just play with the fields? That's your decision.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you very much.
Okay, perhaps you can take a question from Mark Curran.
Hello, Mr. King. Mark
Hello.
from Cape Town.
Yeah.
Prior to me asking this question, someone asked about if you must take the drop from cup, the soul cup.
Pardon?
They said, how do you actually drink the water, the plasma water from the soul cup? How do they rinse it if they cannot see the gangs? The way I see it, for instance,
You see, this is a lot of understanding which I haven't understood yet, but what you said.
No, that's what someone else asked you prior to me speaking.
Okay,
The
you
way
speak.
I
Oh,
see
they
it-
didn't understand. Yeah.
Yeah, the way I see it, you can take any combination, say 1 in 5 for disease or whatever, and if you take out of the cup in one, as on your drawing here, say 20%, and put it in a jar, and you take from the jar in 5, also 20%, you can have gains from number 5 in there. That combination will mix. You can still rinse it and get the salt out, but you'll still have the energy from 1 and 5 when the salt is pulled out. That's the way I see it.
This is what I showed, that the fields of everything in this cup interacts.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's the way they can do it. That's the way I see I'm going to do it.
Oh, you can do any shape or form you like. But you got to understand, some of you might see images. Some of you might see physicality in the direction of images. Some of you might feel feels within it. Some of you might hear communication with it. Now you have a structured life.
Yeah.
And then what would you imagine will happen?
Everything you need.
As we say in Hebrew, Shalom. In the name of the Creator.
Yeah.
And as we say in Arabic, Salam means the name of the God with grace of His honor, which means we complete the cycle, if you understand it, of the creation. But mankind's got millions of years to go before it reaches that.
I just want to also thank you for this beautiful technology. Thank you.
You're welcome. We withheld this technology deliberately till the conclusion of the matters of last week to this week. And everything is right for it to move on. You can stop addiction. You can stop many things if you get the combination right. Because now you satisfy the soul with energy and needs. So it does not go for anything. This is not that the addiction is completed. It means the soul has received what it needs. It's the same as the food. This is what I said to our consultants and doctors who said that we see a lot of men not having any sperm life. I said, you look at it the bad way, I look at it from technology of the Keshe Foundation. Doesn't mean now that we elevate to create children through the soul of the man. That we do not need a physical sperm. But the problem is, are we going to give a what do you call corona to the women who he wants to get married that both have nothing, so they have to use a soul dimension? We are entering a very interesting phase of knowledge. There's something interesting. If what we see, as we saw, the book is released by the Iranian government now, usually with their support, and we go into the media, and we go into the understanding of this technology, you can tell a lot of things with Corona, and the number of the followers of the Keshe Foundation will reach humanity. Because once it's proven, once now that it's completed, the whole teaching of the past years become the truth, become acceptable. And then you can see the mayhem in the world of science. Would people burn the books of physics and chemistry of the past, which is falsified so much? Or would we keep the knowledge and build on it with a new understanding added to it? Everything has a time and a place, and everything has a need for understanding of the totality. Now maybe, as I said, understand why Pope said, I'll be the last Pope. The job is done. As the American wrote on the walls of the Frankfurt airport, air hangars, mission accomplished. When the Western Europe collapsed. But bigger problem for the mission start. To find a true way of living. You got to understand, if you analyze this process, you need no food, you know, no energy to worry about. You don't need to worry about medication. And then you're a physical being. What are you going to spend your time on? Don't forget, the prerequisite to be able to reach any positive, correct results as totality is acceptance of the World Peace Treaty through the soul of the man, not the pen of physicality. If you still have that intention and thing, then you have a big problem. You will not achieve it.